Hello, everyone, and thank you very much for being a part of the concert. If you were on Laurelin listening to the Rolling Kegs live, I hope you enjoyed it. It was quite the cool concert with some cool fiddling and what have you. You were watching the 11th anniversary live stream on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. If you would give us a follow on Twitch, you'll be notified for when we do stuff like this, so you can also subscribe to us on YouTube to get these videos in your subscription feed. And you can like us on Facebook, not just to get our sales info and other stuff, but these Facebook Live videos as well. It appears that I've got some people here with me. The entirety of the, basically what Standing Stone Games marketing peeps that sit around my desk. Is this an intervention? You want me to clean my desk, don't you? This is what this is all about. Yeah. All right, so I don't know. I'll probably have to talk into the mic just a little bit, right. And let's introduce from left to right. We have got Johnny.
Hey,
and
everyone.
Why don't you give your forum name as well, even though you don't use it?
I think the one right now is RedPanda Dwarf. I used to use RedPanda, but that was taken already. I now use RedPanda Dwarf, so yeah, that's me.
All right, and you probably know Tolero, but if you don't, Tolero's our fine person in the middle here.
Hello, how we doing?
And then finally on the right is OliveYew.
Hey guys.
And you are, now you've got a fairly quiet voice, so I need you to speak into the mic if you would, please.
Hey guys.
Yeah. This is basically the people who sit around my desk, and also our marketing team here and that sort of thing. So we've just been celebrating our 11th anniversary. We had 11s this morning. Bagels, donuts.
Wait, you guys had it? How come I missed out?
Because
gotta get here early enough, man.
I had a bagel. Yeah, and then I suppose it's about the way I figured it out. And maybe I'm wrong here. I guess we need to talk to Chris Pearson, but I'm pretty sure that the Hobbit snack schedule is approximately every 2 human hours. Because you've got your breakfast, your 11sies, your second breakfast, your lunch, midday snack, all the rest.
That really corresponds to the times of the day that I want a snack, so it seems completely logical to me.
Totally fine.
So what have you been up to?
Ugh, all the things. No.
Well, that wouldn't be entirely wrong.
It wouldn't be entirely wrong.
Well, we can talk actually a little bit. So we've been working on getting the Update 22 soundtrack out. That's on YouTube. Oh. We've been working, if you've seen the screenshots, the stuff on LOTRO.com, we've been doing some work on that. I know OliveYew and I have been working to update the website. You're not seeing a lot publicly at this point, but a lot is in process. Yep. So I'm guessing within the next couple of months, you'll probably see some changing articles and such on the website.
RedPanda and I have been looking at what kind of new sales we can bring out.
Oh, that's right.
It seemed like some of our sales had gotten tongue twisters. Sales that got stale. Some of our sales, it felt like they were a little stale, so we were trying to come up with some new ones. See what else we can put in. Like, I looked and it was really crazy to me. How had we gone all of this time and not had a mount sale? Like, I looked back through all the sales we had done, and I was like, I do not see a mount sale. So you know what? Mount sale is now a thing.
Yeah.
So just stuff like that.
I know we were actually looking at mounts kind of top to bottom to see what maybe we can add back, what we can't, because it's exclusive or something like that, and just kind of take a look holistically at some of our mounts based on, in part, the community feedback we've been getting over the years on mounts. And then I know, all of you do the LOTRO Beacon every week, so you're tied in with the community, and you get things like this Rolling Kegs concert in your inbox, saying, hey, can you put that in the Beacon? We just want to make sure that you know that if you are doing a concert, or if your kin has some kind of special public event, or basically if you have anything that you think might be Beacon worthy, they should just send it to you.
Send it to me. It's lotro@standingstonegames.com. That's the email, and you can always find me on Twitter, tag me and things. Any way you want to get it to me.
Cool. We have been looking, we just recently did some updating with the Steelbound Gorgoroth loot boxes, and that's something that we're going to be continuing to do periodically throughout the year and all that sort of thing, just to keep it fresh. and what have you. But one of the things that we actually are working on, this was hinted at earlier in the live stream, is we're putting together a web page. It's not there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's in the process where we're going to be adding a little bit more. It really serves two purposes. For those who want the increased level of transparency, we're going to be able to provide that by saying, here's the rare stuff, here's the common stuff, here's the super rare that you can get. And then also for those who are like, well, I kind of like this stuff, but I want to know what I can get.
Yeah,
We're also
exactly.
going to be putting that stuff in and keeping it updated, hopefully, within
Yes,
the...
that's the plan.
That's the plan, is to keep it updated.
Update the things, then update the page that talks about the things.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It's probably going to be at least a few weeks yet, I guess,
Yeah.
before it's probably all the way out there. But that's something that we've been working on quite a bit as well. All right, let me actually turn to our chat rooms on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. If you have a question for Tolero or OliveYew, or I just call you
Panda.
Red Panda. Let's hear it. All right.
Man, they
We
really like that
removed
raffle.
I know.
Lexicon from Twitch. I've been trying to buy the heavy steed of the Norcrofts, Wold, etc. War Steed cosmetic options in the store for a few years, but they got removed. Do you know anything about some of the War Steed cosmetic options that might have
So,
been removed?
That's the type of thing we've been going through, is looking through and finding what are some of the things that had been maybe put in a limited release that it was supposed to be limited, not that limited.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be coming back periodically. And so what I'm finding is there are definitely some items that when I look, it's like, hey, why has this not been released recently? So we can start adding those back in the rotation. So that's the plan. So if there are items that you're like, oh man, I wish the such and such item would come back, as long as it's not something that we promised is like an absolute exclusive for, like, say, everybody who bought a certain X pack were guaranteed to get a particular exclusive. If it's not in that sphere of influence, then it's totally something that we can bring back. And I definitely really want to hear what people want to see, because then the more excited you are about an item, the more we want to bring it back for you.
Yeah, absolutely. MA working...
Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
An example of that is like we found out that there was like a battle-worn steed of the White City.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So we found that it was supposed to be limited release, but it was never re-released since like 2017. So we're like, we should probably put that back out.
Yeah, yep. There's a lot of items in that when you look through like the I guess what we call the catalog, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole bunch of items in there, and you'd think, well, how could something go missing? But it actually can kind of
It
go
can
missing
happen.
until you do that deep dive, into the archives, and you're like, oh, hey, what's this thing?
Yeah, because there's a lot of items to
Yep.
keep track of, and if something got set to off and it had been left off and nobody had mentioned it for a while, we basically go through a rediscovery process, because we're sort of going through our inventory looking, okay, are there any things in here that maybe people weren't excited about a while ago, and maybe it's time to bring it back because of some gameplay change that has suddenly made something more appealing again? That can happen. Sometimes we'll take an item that's like, nobody's really excited about this anymore, let's kind of shove it off to the side so we can focus on other stuff. But that's the idea, is to try to find the things that people are really eager to buy, make sure they can get at them. Sometimes if we're nervous about the amount of something out in the game, we'll sometimes do the limited release to control the quantity of them out there.
Yeah.
But the idea is, again, limited release means periodic, not once and then never.
Nice. A couple of quick questions. Logs on the Kinhouse storage. Can we track donations and removal of items? That would really be more of an engineering task.
Yeah.
My guess is they're going to be a little busy short term to be able to get to something like that. But I think at some point down the road, I'm sure we'd love to take a look at some improvements we could do for kins and kin houses. No ETA, though, unfortunately, on that. Would we consider adding cosmetic weapons to the LOTRO store?
Ooh, people like cosmetic. I would consider it. If you like it, I will consider it.
I have one.
Yeah.
It's called a pretzel.
Yeah.
Oh man, I want a pretzel.
Dwinstrel, the dwarven minstrel, wields a pretzel into battle. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw this earlier. I can't find it now in chat, but on the loot box bonuses, is that more loot boxes or better loot boxes? That's more loot boxes, right?
I'm definitely,
On the bonus weekends?
On the bonus weekends, I'm
Yep.
pretty sure it's more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if you guys want better loot boxes,
Yeah, we might be able to tool
might
something
be
up
able
for that,
to
too.
do something for that.
Yep.
Yeah, but right now it's definitely doing
Definitely more.
more.
Okay. People want a dragon mount.
Who doesn't want a dragon mount?
pretty sure if I brought it up, it would just think no.
Yeah, I
It-
kind of feel there might be some
What if-
lore
what if it's
concerns
just an
about
itty
doing
bitty
that,
one?
but
What if we had like a horse with like a dragon like motif
Oh, like a
on like
blanket?
like a blanket with like wings on it that like
Can we cheat a mount? Can we cheat a dragon
Yeah,
mount?
it's-
Like
it's-
it's
yeah.
totally like
Yeah.
a dragon.
yeah,
put
right.
like a dragon mask on it and it's
Yeah.
totally a dragon.
You probably really could get away with that though, because the art team is really good at taking some
Yeah.
of the physics, like the underlying physics of an object, but then recoloring it, adding transparencies. I mean, they can do like, you look at some of the kites they've done, you look at some of the mount blankets they've done, and just they really managed to get a lot of variety. I bet somebody could do a dragon-esque like covering for a mount.
Totally asked
I have a
that.
feeling the issue wouldn't be creation; it would be being able to put it live into the game.
Yes.
We'll see.
But if it's clearly, so it's like if it's clearly when you look at it, you're like, oh, this is a mount that a warrior has clearly meant to decorate to invoke
yeah,
the
right.
fear of a dragon.
Sure,
that's
sure.
different than if we put
Yeah.
a straight up dragon in.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That,
Hey, you
that's
attach a
lot more doable.
flamethrower to the front, and no, I'm kidding, yeah. Can we have some more different dances, please?
Oh, we were just
different-
talking
yeah,
about
we
this
were
when
just
we were
talking about
watching
custom
the
emotes, yeah.
the emotes for the concert. We were thinking maybe something like what people want, like one of those torchlight things where you can just like have a candle during a concert and just do a little thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's something that got kicked around. I think it was really after last summer's weather stock.
Yeah. we were trying to think of stuff we can do that's like what's stuff that would really be fun at the concert specifically, because a lot of stuff when we put it in, it's kind of like this is fun in LOTRO in general, but man, concerts in LOTRO are such a unique, specific, awesome community thing. So it's like, what are things we can keep adding for
Yeah.
that fun atmosphere?
And we'd want to make sure it's something that wasn't disruptive.
Yeah.
So, you know, it couldn't have too many particle effects or anything like that. But
Yeah.
but we were thinking of just kind of different things, like what would be the right object. And we're still working on that. But
Yeah.
I do think we're going to see it someday here. Aerosteer, I want to direct you. You have a question about class updates that's a little outside of this discussion. I sat down with Tiber before the concert here today, and we went over a lot of the stuff about kind of classwork that we're going to be doing. So I direct you to that on the archive. We've spent about 20 minutes or so going over the upcoming classwork. So that should hopefully answer most of the questions that you've had.
And belly dance for topless
The
dwarves.
answer for topless dwarves. We could totally ask for that as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
LOTRO lottery was great. Has there been any talk about bringing it back? No, not really.
Not really. It was a lot of
the
tech
underlying
behind it.
tech that ran the LOTRO lottery was the same that ran the My LOTRO tech, which is way back when, kind of old school news. But for those who have been around long enough, you know, it had problems, and
Yeah.
so we had to remove it ultimately. And when we removed it, the lottery tech got removed with it as well. And at this point, we just don't really have plans to bring that back. I think for giveaways and events, we'll probably go a somewhat different route for that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about whether we want to look at the Hobbit present rewards, for example, because that's kind of like a always in your pocket type lottery. We've talked about looking at the prize list there, see if there's something we can refresh, make it a little more fun. So that's one place, because that one we know works. It's already teched into the game, so that would be an easy way to do it. Obviously, Cordovan does a lot of like giveaways. We love doing them on the streams. We love doing stuff with the beacon. So that's probably the avenue that we'll stick with for now.
Yeah. We had a question, I think Gussie Moose asked, can we basically get the expansions on sale more regularly? What is our pace on
That is
expansions, right?
So that's one of the things I've been ramping up, is to start getting those expansion sales coming back a little more often. When I looked through, it was really unfathomable to me that we hadn't been doing them at a more regular interval. Like, you obviously don't want to have it like all the time, but felt like more than once a year should be happening. So that is something that's on my radar.
Gussie Moose, I know you want a moose.
Didn't we have an elk for Yule Fest?
We have
did
an
have an
elk.
elk,
We don't have
yeah.
a moose, and
We
I know
talked
you
about
want
it.
one, but
Yeah. And I saw war goats
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
we're good.
Like, so
Yeah, we
does that
talked-
mean like a goat with like blades attached to it?
Yep. I asked someone about war goats
Yeah, we
earlier
did
on the
that.
stream today, so I'm, we'll see. We'll see what we can do there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me head over to YouTube chat. Can we make the Warsteed dies account-wide? Someone is basically asking, they'd love to be able to purchase more Warsteed dies, but they don't want to get them on every character.
Yeah.
That's something I know that we don't have anything to announce, but we've at least kind of given some thought
Yep.
to.
Yep, that's something we're
Yeah.
currently researching.
Yep. Are there any more interviews planned for today? Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
There's a whole what I say. This was the thing I was surprised me. Are we doing 12 hours or are we doing 11 hours?
I considered doing 11 hours, but
Right?
then I thought I'd do 12, 11 to 11.
Okay.
It just,
That's
so,
fair. That
yeah,
still works.
yeah. All right, Facebook. Do we plan to offer new Rohirrim cosmetics?
Ooh, I
We
saw this
literally
thread.
were
We were just talking about that.
this, yes.
I saw that
'Cause
thread.
one of the things we're trying to be sensitive to is we know that we had given out some Rohirrim cosmetics that were very specific to some of the X-Pack bundles. We don't like to step on that. Like, if we promise something is an exclusive to someone, we don't want to dishonor
Yeah.
that. But at the same time, we're like, well, could we do like another variant of it, like maybe another color, or could we change like the way that some of the metal work on it looks, or just something to make it to where the person who has the original set still has those and feels good about it, but then people also get access to some more of them. So that is something we've literally been talking about like yesterday.
Yep, and don't. Actually, I'm meeting on hand with Octothorpe and you about that later today. So we definitely read the forums. Might not always respond, but we definitely read everything that's posted on there.
We're heavy lurkers.
Yes, you don't see us. We're one of you. Totally one of you.
Totally inconspicuous, not at all in your concerts looking at things.
I should actually say I have seen the three of you play LOTRO during your lunch breaks
Yep.
here. You've kind of got like a static group thing going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome to join. But usually you're
But you're usually
streaming, right?
streaming.
Yeah.
Usually
So,
we're
yeah.
playing, yeah.
Yeah.
A war elk Vanya wants. We have the elk mount, but we didn't make a war steed version of the elk.
I'm sure we can do that.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
we could
I don't know
probably
when we
that.
do it, but
Yeah.
that is
That'd be
something
something that
doable.
we can bring up.
Yep. All right. Westcoof, the landscape recipe drops. It's really more of a question for our systems
That'd be
folks.
systems,
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't really have a good answer for you on
Although
that
sometimes we badger systems.
Yeah, right.
but if we see something, we're like, hey guys, why is this like this? And we'll go and prod if we
Yeah.
notice stuff that seems like, even if it's not directly a store thing, it can still be beneficial to the overall gameplay. And so if we notice stuff, we will bring it up. So
Oh, Rhythmic's asking.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to get to that. Can we fan site owners have some codes for items to share during contests instead of LOTRO points? The answer to that is yes, and you can get in touch with me. Basically, tell me a little bit more about what you. I mean, if I don't know your fan site, I probably know it. But if I don't know your fan site, just let me know a little bit about who you are, what you're doing, and what your event is. Maybe a little bit about eligibility, that kind of thing. And I'd be happy to help support you with some community-related giveaways. We have some things that we can give out, similar to many of the things we're giving out, frankly, on the live stream here today,
yeah.
that we should be able to help you out with. And yes, we love fan sites, so
Yeah.
we would be happy to do something like that.
Have we given
More
out any?
outfits.
Have we given out any fiddles yet?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh,
We
how many
gave a-
fiddles are out there now?
Well, on the stream today, I've done probably about half a dozen.
Did you
Yeah.
give them away while you were on a roof?
No. Actually, I did it during the concert here. It seems
Nice.
thematic, right? So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Need more outfits on my tunes, more cosmetic slots. That's something we can definitely talk about.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
All right. So I know we've this is probably the second or third time this has come up, but it comes up a lot in chat. So can we ever get horses shared across an account? They want
That's part of our
consistent.
research.
That is part of the research. So
Yeah.
what do we research? What are we trying to figure out in terms of our ability to do this sort of?
So one of the things is looking at what's out there and is the most consistent thing. Another thing is what's the consequences of changing it. Like if we have a bunch of stuff where people have it already in inventories, or maybe they've like got one over here and they haven't. There's a weird piece of tech where if it doesn't redeem it automatically, it can end up in your inventory. What happens to that person? Does it nuke it out
Yeah.
of their account? If they then get it nuked out of their account, can we tell that it got nuked out of their account? Is there any weirdness in all of the text changes? Would we have to go and edit every single description on every single item in the catalog, and how long would that take us? So there's lots of weird pieces to it. So we're hoping to have that research done soon, and then we'll
Yeah.
know.
And there is just a general kind of price matching thing where we've
Yeah.
had a certain price point for account bound steeds and a certain price point for non-account
Right, 'cause
bound,
we
and we
don't
kind of
wanna
need to make
break it
sure
to
we
where,
get
like,
that
the person
right.
who
Yeah.
paid for their singular character suddenly feels ripped off when it gets changed,
Yeah,
or vice versa. So all of those factors have to get weighed together before we pull the trigger on something like that.
Related, I guess, B. Jalder and someone else said, could we get basically a short-term VIP program? They say VIP for a day, or like a
Interesting.
smaller LOTRO pack code. I think theoretically it's something we could do. We'd have to do some analysis to figure out if it made
Yeah.
sense,
Right.
as a business and that sort of thing. But theoretically, that seems like something we might be able to do.
Yeah, we've
I-
also been
yeah.
looking into ways to kind of bolster the program too, because there's things in the VIP program that are like, oh, okay, that's all right, but how could we make it like even it's
better.
called VIP, but it's like, do you feel like a very important player? If you
Yeah.
don't, how can we make that feel better?
Yep.
But that is something that we can investigate as part of that.
Yeah. Exactly right. We have been doing a lot of that work.
Mm-hmm.
Even when we first transitioned to Standing Stone Games, that was in the FAQ.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. I know we necessarily haven't really seen a lot of changing of say some of that stuff yet. Although we have seen a little bit, but that's because we've been doing a lot of research on
Yeah.
it. And,
Yeah.
and I do think we'll see something along those lines in the future as we make sure to provide the most amount of value that we can.
Yeah, we definitely have meetings about that, making VIP even better coming up.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, let me see if there's anything. I want a stable. Oh yeah, someone else brought this up. I want a stable yard for my house.
Yes,
Why can
all
I
right.
not get a
We
stable
all
yard for my
We've
house?
been,
Right?
we've been like, is this something we can do? If we ask for it, can we get players to say that they want it? So that way, when we go to
Exactly
the
right.
devs and say we want this, it's like, look, the players told us they want it. Therefore,
It's totally
we
not us
really
saying
have
it.
to-
It's
not
totally
just
you
us.
guys.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's like, and you have to. To me, it's like if you're gonna have a stable yard, you have to be able to display like your favorite, like,
Yeah.
and then we could add like extra stuff to it to really put in like. We've gone down a whole equestrian
Oh my
brainstorm.
god, yeah. I wanted to do like a whole
So
like
much
racetrack
potential.
on the top of a racetrack.
Yeah,
I
you
wanted
can have
to do, like,
racetrack, you
the
can have the
obstacle course
obstacle
thing,
course. Yeah.
right? And then you can have like contests, and you can like.
Do you
make your
imagine if
own.
we had stable yards and people like
Yeah.
at the kinships could have like dressage type concerts?
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Like where you
God.
could like, put your horse through like the motion, like, yeah.
Yeah.
I like all of this.
We should totally be doing this. Yeah, maybe
yeah.
maybe in the future here.
Yeah.
Best in show, you gotta walk your
best in
horse.
show,
You
yeah.
gotta walk your horse.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Nice.
See, all right, now we have ammunition. This is why I like coming on the
Exactly
stream.
right. Yeah. Yeah, there are hundreds of you right now on Twitch, and so
Yeah,
we
it's
could say
great.
hundreds of people told
Exactly,
us
hundreds
today
of people told us
they
that
wanted
you need
this.
this
Yeah.
immediately.
So, Muto PN, I did kind of mention this earlier, but yes, we do have plans to give the website a refresh. We're going to really be doing that. One is more concrete, the other is a little more nebulous. The concrete plan is we're going to be updating some of the most outdated pages. We already did the world. We're going to be taking a look at the VIP page, the characters and races, and a whole bunch of other things in the future. We did, a couple months ago now, update the website to help with the tabs at the top. Particularly, that's beneficial for people using mobile browsers. And just within the past couple of weeks, we did update that world page. So that's the concrete, is just kind of refreshing to make sure the info is up to date. More nebulous, meaning it may not happen, but it might happen, is we do have plans to kind of take a more holistic look at the website and perhaps make some more top to bottom changes of it there. But that's really
That
not
was a
even in
little
the planning
further off.
stage, if
Yeah.
that. So we'll see if that happens.
Man, sorry, I'm so excited about stables now.
I
I'm like
know.
wildly
I know.
distracted.
Nice. All right. Well, I don't know if there's any other kind of questions. I should maybe let you get back to work here.
Yeah, I guess we do have work to do.
Yeah, we do
All
have
the
a
research
meeting.
that we're like, okay, we have a lot of research to do. We have a lot of research to do. I guess we should go back and do the research now.
Yeah.
So what you can do is you can go into the art studio, close the
Yes.
door, and say, "Here's our
list of demands.
here's our list of
Yeah.
demands.
Like
Refresh
it-
from the live stream. The community says we
Yeah.
need to do
They
this."
wanna
So-
The
Dragon
other
Horse.
nice thing too is, we have a huge backlog of all the different stuff that we want to research, or brainstorms that we've had have been like, oh, what about this? So now we can basically take that list and go boop, 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 and float some stuff up.
Nice. Chromite, I did see your comment about the hobby horse being bound to character and you want it bound to account. We've heard that hobby horse, because it is particularly exceptionally rare from the Yule presents, there is some interest in making it bound to account. I haven't followed up on that. I'll have to follow up on that with the itemization and systems folks and people other than myself to make any kind of call on that. But I did see your comment. I just wanted to acknowledge that, even though I don't have a good answer for you at this time. Liquid Break is echoing something that I know Big Ed on LOTRO stream wants. we need to have offhand fishing rods.
Oh yeah, the fishing rod.
Yep,
Mhm.
because
Dual wielding fishing
you
rods.
have to have it in one hand. He wants it in the other hand.
Right.
And why can't you?
Yeah.
You can do it
I
with
don't know.
swords. You can do it with daggers. You can do it with just about anything. Can't do it with fishing
And it's
boats.
probably just because they hadn't touched the fishing tech for a very long time.
Yeah.
We've been happily
Yeah.
letting people do the fishing, but we hadn't yet gotten to the phase of, okay, can we make fishing even cooler?
Yeah.
So that's the thing to put on the list.
I actually answered your question, Katrid Boots, when I was talking with Severlin a little bit earlier today, but we have very early stage kind of investigations going on regarding physical swag. It's something we've even talked about on the live stream before, that it's something we'd like to do. It's a fairly complicated process to actually make it happen, but we have actually even recently had conversations about that, so hopefully that's something we can bring to you in the future, but I've got really nothing to announce today on it, so. We need purple and orange fireworks and brie. That sounds about right to me.
I mean, multiple,
Yeah.
multiple color fireworks are always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds great.
Cool.
Thank you so much for stopping by the live stream here today. I really do appreciate it, and get back to work.
Wow.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
happy anniversary!
Happy
Yeah,
anniversary.
happy anniversary, everyone.
Yay.
All right, thank you very much.